Well, the general election is coming up. November 5th is right around the corner, everybody. And if you love the Second Amendment, if you love freedom, you love our God-given right to keep and bear arms, you love having a country, you love law and order and closed borders, and your vote means something, you're going to want to watch this video. I'm Chris Dorr. I'm the director for Pennsylvania Firearms Association. And in this video, I'm going to talk about your state Senate District 37 right there in Allegheny County. This is one of the most, if not the most important state Senate legislative race in the entire state of Pennsylvania for the 2024 election cycle, because whatever party wins this race in District 37 is likely the party that will control the Pennsylvania Senate chamber in 2025 going forward. Currently, Republicans control the Pennsylvania Senate. Democrats control the Pennsylvania House. And of course, Josh Shapiro, a Democrat, controls the governor's mansion. What the radical left wants to do is they want to have a Democrat trifecta, so that the Democrat agenda is the only agenda that needs to be considered or promoted and advanced going forward. And if you look around the country at some of these states like New York and California and Illinois, a lot of people don't necessarily like the direction of a Democrat triumvirate. So I'm going to go into both of these candidates who are running to become your next state senator from District 37 and break down where they are on your God-given right to keep and bear arms, your gun rights. I'm going to start off with Devlin Robinson here real quick on our handy-dandy whiteboard. And we're going to go through him first because he's the incumbent. He's running for re-election. And the thing about incumbents is they have voting records. You can see if their walk matches their talk at election time. So we're going to go through Devlin Robinson here really quickly, first and foremost, and then we'll talk about Nicole Rashido. So on the handy dandy whiteboard here, talking about Devlin Robinson, the first bill I want you guys I want to talk to you about that Devlin Robinson voted for was Senate Bill 565, constitutional carry. It's not a very hard concept to understand. This is the law of the land in 29 other states already. And it simply gets government out of the gun rights or the gun regulation business, the gun rights regulation business. It says that gun owners are statistically the safest and most law-abiding demographic among us. And we're not going to have them beg us for permission to defend themselves and their families anymore. And Devlin Robinson voted yes on that. I think it was Senate Bill 565. I think it passed in 2021. I'd have to go back and check for sure, but I was there. He voted yes on it. That was a fantastic piece of legislation. He also voted yes on preemption reform. Put my little check mark there. Preemption reform is a very simple concept as well. What we had was what we still have is a problem with these big cities in Pennsylvania like Philadelphia or Pittsburgh who are passing gun control laws that are more restrictive than state law. That's not allowed. We don't need a patchwork of gun laws all across the state that varies from town to town. You're allowed to carry here, you're allowed to carry there, blah, blah. No, that's a disaster. And we have this problem with these big cities trying to promote this. Devlin Robinson voted yes on Senate Bill 979 at the same time to try to fix some of those problems. Both of these bills, sadly, I hate to say it, were vetoed by then Governor Tom Wolf. So that was very unfortunate, but Devlin Robinson did vote for both of those. He voted yes on Sunday hunting. That's one of the big deals to a lot of gun owners here in Pennsylvania. So those are some of the pro-gun things that he's done that Devlin Robinson has actually cast votes for. Just as important as the votes that he voted for are the ones that he did not vote for, okay? He did not sponsor. Looking all the way back in his legislative career, we can't find a time when Devlin Robinson sponsored or co-sponsored actual gun control bills. That's a great thing. It used to be a given for most Republicans until Joe Biden convinced traitors like John Cornyn and Pat Toomey to vote for his bipartisan Safer Communities Act that they continue to build upon. But Devlin Robinson, he's never crossed that line. He's never voted for any gun control bills that we could find. He's never voted for red flag laws. He's never voted for universal gun registration. He's never voted for bans on assault weapons, air quotes. He's resisted the Philly and Pittsburgh gun control agenda at every single turn. And those earn him green check marks. Honestly, we can give this guy an A rating for Devlin Robinson for his walking the talk of gun rights as a state senator in the Pennsylvania Senate. But I'm going to take my handy dandy pen here. We're going to switch over to our red because we're going to start talking about Nicole Rashido here. Nicole Rashido, she's a Democrat. She's one of the Democrats that's trying to flip the Pennsylvania Senate. And everything we looked into her about is bad. Okay. So first and foremost, she's Bloomberg endorsed. That gives her a great big fat X rating. Actually, I got to make that a lot bigger there. X. She's endorsed by Moms Demand Action. She's endorsed by those weirdos over at Ceasefire PA. Ceasefire PA, let me tell you about these people. These people, what they excel at is bringing the parents of victims into the Pennsylvania Capitol building in Harrisburg. And a lot of times you look into some of the stories that these testifiers get up there and spout off as a reason why we should all be disarmed. You find out that a lot of the victims that Ceasefire PA, we're talking about these people right here, a lot of the victims that they bring into the Capitol are actually like gangbangers, the parents of gangbangers, kids that were involved in gang violence, you know? So she's endorsed by Ceasefire PA and Bloomberg's Moms Demand Action. And she supports the entire gamut of the gun control agenda. She supports red flag gun confiscation. This bill, this law that Nicole Rashido wants to pass, it is the total destruction of due process rights for gun owners. In fact, the bill that Nicole wants to pass, it literally has it where if you go out and buy a firearm, that can be entered as evidence in a red flag order that you file with a judge to have somebody's guns taken away from you. So literally, Nicole Rashido here, she wants to use the exercise of a right as justification to strip that right away. That's Nicole Rashido for you. She supports statewide gun registration. Let me unpack that one for you. The radical left wants to confiscate most firearms here in America. You don't have to ask me about it. Joe Biden has said it. Kamala Harris is saying it almost daily. They want to ban AR-15s. What's his name? Beto O'Rourke said in the debate, back when the Democrats used to have debates and primaries in order to select their Democrat nominee. Now they just depose sitting presidents and do that kind of thing. But Beto O'Rourke said in a debate, hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15s. He said it out loud. Okay. She supports that. And in fact, this lady, Nicole Rashido here, again, we're talking about, she supports a total ban on semi-automatic firearms. I'm not talking about just AR-15s or AKs or whatever. She wants to ban Ruger 1022s, Glock 19s, Marlin Model 60s, Remington 1187 12-gauge shotguns. She wants to ban all of them. All of them. We're not talking about some limousine liberal here. This lady is a hardcore committed activist who wants the population disarmed. That's what she supports. She wants to ban all semi-automatic firearms. That plays into this next part here, gun lockups. The left and Nicole, they call these safe storage laws. We saw the clip just the other day where it came out that Kamala Harris was calling for this stuff. She literally said, and this is what's built into these laws, this is what Nicole Rashido wants for Senate District 37, mandatory gun lockups give the state the authority to come into your home, whether you like it or not, and inspect your guns to make sure they are being kept care of in a manner that they deem safe. Government gun inspections inside the sanctity of your home is what Nicole Rashido wants for Senate District 37 and the people of Pennsylvania. So mandatory gun lockups with home inspections. It's unbelievable. It's such a violation of your constitutional freedoms to be secure from unreasonable searches and seizures. Mandatory gun buyback, she supports that as well. Kamala Harris, this is another one of the big things that she's pushing right now on the national stage. Mandatory gun buybacks is gun confiscation. So when they want to ban all semi-automatic firearms, the accompaniment law to that, and this is what Nicole Raschido supports, is mandatory gun buybacks. They're going to ban them, and then they're going to legitimize it in their minds by giving you money for them, which is your own money back to you, by the way. Mandatory gun buybacks, it's total theft. And honestly, some of the valuations that are being thrown around out there, they're talking about giving like $200 for $1,500 nice rifles and stuff like that. It's absolutely preposterous. But they do this. People like Nicole Raschido support this because they think it legitimizes the tyranny that they're trying to codify in law. So honestly, we're gonna give Nicole here a great big fat F rating. She's earned every little bit of it. Folks, there's a couple of things I'm going to ask you guys to do. First and foremost, if you see Devlin Robinson out there on the campaign trail, Devlin right here, this guy, thank him for having his walk match his talk. A lot of people, when they campaign during election season, they're like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be that. His voting record actually reflects what he said he wanted to be when he got elected in office. That's rare. And we appreciate that. If you guys see Nicole Raschido out on the campaign trail, remind her that she's probably campaigning in the wrong country. This is the kind of stuff that they did in Germany in the 1940s. This is the kind of stuff they did in Italy at the same time. This is the stuff they did in Russia, the stuff they did in Japan. That's what this stuff is. And currently she can go over to Britain and sponsor that kind of stuff because those sissies like that kind of stuff over there. This is Pennsylvania. We're talking about Pennsylvania Senate District 37, Allegheny County. We're not even talking about Philly here. Okay, we're talking about Western Pennsylvania, people who've grown up around these things and know that the right of self-defense, the human right of firearm ownership is what separates America from the rest of the world. It's a final check and balance on government, tyrannical government, nothing more. And this is Pennsylvania. This state has a long, old history with this idea of firearms ownership as individuals. So if you see Nicole Raschido on the campaign trail, tell her that stuff flies anywhere else but here in Pennsylvania. The last I would ask you guys to do is share this video with everybody you know. Friends, family, loved ones, co-workers, church members, neighbors, pro-gun ones only. And don't share this stuff with your anti-gun neighbors. They don't like, they hate this stuff. A lot of these people want firearms to be stripped away from us because they have no problem with the idea of being slaves. We're not like that. So share this video with all of your friends. And on November 5th, go to the polls and vote pro-gun.